Hey y'all, welcome to another costume breakdown, and today we are going to be breaking down this costume right here. So right off the bat, I want to just give you this quick little disclaimer that I am always so shocked when these types of videos go viral, and this one was definitely one that I did not expect to go viral at all, and it went super viral on TikTok within about 24 hours. I originally started making this costume as a spicy ghost face. And I love doing like the Halloween stuff and all that. And this one started out as like a Halloween specific costume. And as I was building it out, I was like, oh man, this is a really cool one for like a witchy vibe. This has a very like queen witch. And other people were saying, oh, it's very vampire-esque. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll just do this costume by itself without the ghost face, without the mask and everything, and just see what happens. And I did, and wow, I'm shocked. And within a couple of hours, it was just a constant run of, where did you get your dress? Where did you get your dress? Where'd you get that dress? And getting DMs, where did you get that dress? Where'd you get it? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a costume breakdown. So I made like a 6-minute long, it was supposed to be a short one, but it ended up being like a 6-minute long costume breakdown for TikTok and Instagram that gives some basics and stuff. But on those platforms, unfortunately, it is really difficult to be able to link up to all of the places that I get these pieces, because these pieces that I use to put together the costume, sometimes I've altered them. Sometimes I've done a little bit of sewing on my own. Sometimes I get them as part of brand deals and things like that. And it's really difficult to link those things up. So I wanted to make a full-on YouTube video and a blog post for my blog that gives you a lot more detail and information about sort of the thought process and how I'm coming up with some of these costumes, the types of places that I go to find them, and of course linking like the direct links to them. Most of these, if not all of them, outside of like my Amazon shop, I'm not getting paid for. I'm not getting any kickbacks or anything like that. This is just me sharing how I'm coming up with these things, because I want other people to have that creative outlet too. And this is a really fun one, coming up with fun, very spicy, different sort of costumes. And I mean, even if I don't ever wear this outside the house, I mean, who cares, right? Like, it makes me feel good in that moment. And that's sort of what this was all about. So I'm going to give you the breakdown here in a lot more detail than what is on TikTok and Instagram. And yeah, all the links will be down below. And if you ever have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to, message me. You can email me and all that kind of stuff. So here we go for the costume breakdown of this witchy queen witch vibe outfit. Okay, so one of the first things that I usually look for when I'm building out a costume is I am sourcing out high split skirts. High split skirts are the ones that have the literally high splits that go all the way up almost to the waist. And they come in millions of different colors, and you want to look for either a single high split skirt or a double. For most of my pirate cosplays, I'm looking for at least a single, or I'm looking for a skirt that's like an Edwardian skirt that has pickups, which are those pieces on the side that kind of come up and it looks like a curtain almost, and something that I can kind of tuck up underneath of a corset. So most of my pirate cosplays, you'll see that same look where it's like a single leg showing, and that's because I've actually just tucked up the skirt on the side. But I do use specifically Edwardian or Victorian skirts to do that, because they have that drapey sort of effect. For this one, for the witchy vibe, or vampire vibe, whatever you want to call it, I tend to go for the double high split skirt. So you see both legs at the same time, but it has that nice just that nice silhouette to it, and it gives a little something spicy there without getting you into trouble. We'll say that. So when I'm looking for double high split skirts, I'm usually going to Amazon or Fashion Nova. This one for this outfit, I actually found on Fashion Nova. So this came as a 2-piece set originally. I hate the top, and that's okay, because the whole outfit, the 2-piece outfit, was like $15. So if you go on to Fashion Nova, just look for double high split skirt set, and you'll see everything that they have there. And I'm sure you can probably find the same thing on Amazon or on Shein or any of the other places. So this is the actual piece. So it's got these two little side pieces that actually fit around the waist. And the idea is that you tie it and this becomes like, it sits like up here. But the actual skirt itself doesn't have anything underneath of it. It doesn't have like a liner or anything, but it's super high split on each side, and it's a maxi dress. This skirt, or it's a maxi skirt. This skirt is way too long for me. I'm only 5'4" if I hold my breath. This I think must have been made for a female or a human that was at least 6 feet tall, because it is ridiculously long. Like, it is very long and I don't understand it. But anyway, so I end up tucking it up quite a bit underneath of my corset when I'm wearing it. And the idea with these pieces here is, even though it's meant to be tied high up on the waist, I end up tying it really low around my hips and having these two pieces peek out from underneath of my corset. The reason being is, over time, like, I'm trying to come up with some different pieces, like maybe something dangly, some gems, some charms, some jewels, maybe going into like the jewelry section for beading and stuff at different craft stores and things like that, where I can just get long beads or long chains maybe that I can just hang from here, so they actually hang on the hips and give a little bit more dimension and some shimmer and some interesting elements to the overall outfit. So I like that these here can peek out underneath of the corset and sit there. So that's the two pieces that you see there. It's actually all just one very cheap skirt. So that's this piece. Now, if you go on Fashion Nova and you can't find one of these, there are alternatives, and I'm going to show you one of the alternatives right now. And don't worry, at the end of all this, I'm going to show you what the whole outfit looks like, so I can kind of, point out each of these pieces. So this one came from Amazon as well, and it came as a two-piece set, so you can totally find it on there. The two-piece set comes with like a tank top that I've worn for many other cosplays too. So it's not too bad. I think this set ran around $25 or so, so it's a little bit more expensive than the Fashion Nova one, but considering it can be used for a ton of different cosplays and costume designs, I really do like it. I really want to start making my own though, because I really hate this band. This band is just not my friend. Anyway. So I guess that's kind of one of my biggest tips when it comes to designing your costumes and coming up with different outfits and things like that, is look at the color first. And if you can figure out a way to use that color, like what does that color bring to mind? Is it a dark vibe? Is it a witchy vibe? Is it a fairy vibe? Is it, a vampire look? What is it that color sort of brings up in your mind? And then start thinking about, okay, how can I incorporate this into an outfit? What sort of outfit could this potentially mimic? And then start making it your own, because you really just need some of the big elements. Like, I have one costume that I designed that is a Alice in Wonderland outfit. It's from literally the exact same thing as this, but in a turquoise blue. And it is the top and the skirt. And I have a blue corset that matches it. And then I have a hat and I have a little card and everything that I put in it. I did this costume like last year. I'll probably bring it back at some point this year for 2023. But I put it together, and because of those small elements, like the top hat, the card, the Queen of Hearts card, and it being that same turquoise blue that Alice in Wonderland wears, people immediately got where I was going with it, but it was something that I made my own. So that's what I try to do with a lot of my stuff, because I'm never going to be good enough to actually make something that is spot on. I'm not that type of cosplayer. I'm not the type of costume designer, as much as I wish I was. It's really difficult. So I just try to find things that I can sort of put together and you can get the idea from. And yeah, so that's just, my 2 cents on that and my little tip. Anyway, so we'll move on to the next piece, which is the top. Y'all, I cannot say enough good stuff about this top. Every single time I have ever worn this on TikTok, it has gone super viral. I don't know if it's the top or what, but it is just an incredible piece of fashion. Now, there's good news and bad news about it. The bad news is they don't make it anymore. And this is from Honey Birdette. This is from their Tosh formal line. And it's a halter top. It has adjustable buttons on the neck. It's a zip up in the back. It's got really nice little meshy pieces. It's got fun detail. The fabric of it, like, I wish you could feel the fabric. It's very stretchy. It's got just such a cool like feeling to it because it's not polyester. It's not cotton. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like really awesome, high quality luxury material. I think I paid roughly $130 for this top when it came out. It was entirely worth it because yeah, this is just an awesome top. So the bad news, of course, being that they don't make it anymore. The good news is that every now and again, you can find it on Poshmark. Every now and again, somebody will sell off theirs. So I definitely recommend looking on there. I think I bought this in 2019. So it's been a while. They may bring it back. I don't know. I hope they do. They seem to bring back really good stuff every now and again, and they have a new color or something like that. But with Honey Birdette, that's sort of the bad side of them, is that I shouldn't say the bad side, they know what they're doing. They have stuff that's really awesome and they bring it out and then they retire it. And when they retire it, it's like there's no more. You don't know when or if it's going to come back, or if it comes back, it's going to be slightly different. So yeah, this is their Tosh line, Tash, and it's awesome. So there are alternatives to this top, and I'm going to show you at least one of the alternatives and a couple of different places that you can find it. So here is the alternative to that same Honey Birdette top. Finding a halter top that ties around the neck. The reason you want it to tie around the neck is to get that same keyhole effect on the front. You cross it and you want it to have enough slack that you can adjust it so it's comfortable in the back of the neck. So this is just one option. This particular one is from Garage, and I think it's like maybe $20. It's not terribly expensive, but you can absolutely find alternatives on Shein, on Amazon, and I'll link a few alternatives up here as well. But yeah, that's the biggest key, is making sure that it adjusts in the backs or around the neck so that you can make that same effect in the front for the keyhole. So that's the top. Now we're going to talk about the corset. So the corset that I'm wearing in that video is from True Corset. And honestly, I think most of my cosplays and my pirate stuff, almost all of them at this point, I tend to get from True Corset with the exception of a handful. And I love their brand so much. Their stuff is so high quality. It's steel boned. This particular one is, I believe, the Artemis style. And the two styles that I wear pretty much exclusively from them are the Artemis and the Playgirl. Reason being is that the two styles give a little bit of a different silhouette. They have a little bit more cinching in the center. So it gives you that really nice hourglass figure. And the difference between the Artemis and the Playgirl is usually the cutout here on the top and on the bottom, and just how long it actually is. This is not a long form corset or like the long type of corset, so it's not for a long torso, but it still gives you like a nice it just gives you a really awesome silhouette. Now this is a steel boned corset, so it's definitely not for the beginner, but it is still really comfortable. Like, I can dance all night in this and I'm okay. But I've also been wearing corsets for 20 plus years, and usually in theater you wear a lot of them and stuff like that. So I really, really love this brand of corsets quite a bit, and they have a ton of different colors. So yeah, if you get a chance, go look it up. This is just their basic satin, black satin. I believe it's the Artemis corset. And I think this one, I want to say it's like anywhere between $60 and $90, depending on if there's a sale. So just keep an eye out on sales. Definitely join their mailing list and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so this is the corset. Now I'm going to give you a couple of tips for how I did the bustle in the back. So one of my biggest tips that I can give you when you're designing your pirate cosplays or witchy vibe cosplays or any of those Victorian sort of looks, anything where you're trying to create like that corset style dress, is layering. And keep a lookout just for different types of material, different things that you can use in different ways, right? This is one of those things. I found this little lacy cover up at a boutique years and years ago, and it has been used in so many of my cosplays. I've used the arms on it to create like nice, pretty, like bell sleeves on some of my pirate cosplays. And I've also used it as a bustle for some of my pirate style cosplays or witchy vibe cosplays, like the one that we're talking about today. So this, all I did was roll it up around the top part, like cut it in half. I shouldn't say cut it, but like roll it up a little bit. And I tucked it underneath of the corset because the corset is already cinched so tight. It definitely holds it up in place. I probably could just use like a string or something, or a thin piece of ribbon to tie it on, but I didn't really even need to do that. And the lacy arms create like a little extra feature there on the sides, and it just has a really cool look. So yeah, that's all it is this is just tucked underneath of the back of the corset and creates that additional layered effect for the dress itself. Now, the costume breakdown would not be complete unless we talked about the boots. These boots are my all-time favorite boots in the entire world, and when they finally go, I'm going to be a very, very sad human. These boots have been with me for a very long time, and I've used them in a ton of my costume designs. They just work with everything, and I also wear them out like for date nights and stuff with just a pair of jeans or even a pair of leggings. They look phenomenal. These are suede boots from Aldo, and you can tell like they've been well loved. They're very well loved and probably going to need to be replaced here sooner rather than later, but you can absolutely find similar ones on Amazon. I bought a pair of red ones that look almost identical to this on Amazon for like $40. They're not that expensive, and there are a ton of different colors on there. So yeah, these ones here from Aldo, I don't think that they make them anymore. I'll be surprised if they do, but if they do, I'll totally link it down below. And yeah, I think I paid like $80 for these, maybe 3, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. Yeah, they've lasted me a little while, and I definitely love them. So, all right, y'all, time for the full outfit. Okay, so I'm just going to point out a couple of little things that I was talking about in the video. One is this here. You can see these are those pieces that I was talking about from the skirt. They typically come all the way up here, like over the hip. And I just have them positioned a little bit lower so that I can add some different pieces to it. So now I'm going to add that little lacy swimsuit cover up, and you're going to see the difference between this outfit and once I add that piece. What you doing? So there you have it, the whole outfit from start to finish, and I hope some of these tips and techniques have helped to inspire you to design some of your own creations. And if you use any of these tips, please make sure to tag me in any of your social media. I would love to go and check it out. I love to hype people up, and I love to be inspired as well. So until next time, please remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, do all the positive things, and I will catch you next time on another costume breakdown.